Okay, so this is painting 3 of the 4 that you need to do. Again, you don't need to copy every single one. Like, you can follow along with what I'm doing, but overall, you just need to do 4 um, to get the points. And what I'm going to do is this cloud one right now. And I got my paper all set up, ready to go. And again, we're going through the rules. Where's my focal point? So let's say I'm looking at this photograph. Maybe I want this tree right here. Where's my focal point? And is this in a good place to be compositionally good? So do you know what? That tree already hits that 1/3 mark, so we're just going to go for that. I'm just going to my paper, do a few little light sketches. This is where I want my tree to be. And, majority of what I'm seeing here is the clouds. That is a huge impactful thing, but I want this to be my focal point. Okay, figured out my focal point, figured out its position. What is my contrast? It can be texture, it could be a value. I usually just stick with value, and already naturally this is very, very dark and the background's very, very light. So I want to push that to the extreme as much as I possibly can. And then I think about how can I create movement to go to that focal point. So I can play around with these clouds a lot. There's a lot of positive and negative spaces that I can play with. I love this negative space that's right here happening in the cloud. Maybe I can alter it just enough to kind of help it curve right back into that focal point, or other things that I can do. All right, whoops, just moved my whole board. Let's see, so I'm looking at this, I've got my little tree here. Just going to do some light sketches. Maybe I need to bring that tree up. Looking at this entire space. So again, this is just a 1/4 of a piece of paper that I've cut out of what I provided for you guys watercolor paper wise. And if you need more watercolor paper, it's just sitting in the commons area of the school. Okay, there's my tree. I kind of like these little bumps of other trees that are happening right over here in the background. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to go too far into describing the sky right now. I'm kind of excited to start into the sky and see what happens. Let's see, and I've managed to have lost. I was going to have something else to look at just to keep myself on track. Okay, let's get this started. I'm going to start with the sky, and clouds are, well, they vary from sharp and soft edges, but I really like how soft this is. So I'm just going to get my water. And I'm trying not to get dripping wet. Got a slight purple tint happening here in the last painting. I'm not going to worry about going around that tree. I'm going to paint over it anyways. Okay, so I'm looking at the sky. Clouds are white, right? Well, kind of. If you guys remember when we watched Girl with the Pearl Earring, and this isn't painting 1, by the way. We watched that little section where Jan Vermeer asks Griet, what color are the clouds? And she says white. But there's more than just white happening. There's grays, there's yellows, hints of purples. So many things happening. Oops. I want a little bit more fresher color purple here. So much color happens. So, I'm trying to decide what kind of blue. I'm kind of mixing between a cerulean blue, which is like a lighter blue. Maybe I'm getting this a little too dark. We'll find out. Mixing it with like an ultramarine or maybe even a phthalo blue. I'm still analyzing the clouds. I'm still looking at them. I'm not just making it up. I'm looking at what's out there. What's happening in the picture. Let's see. I might try push some of these areas a bit gray. So I'm adding a little bit of that ivory black in here. I'm going to just do a little test. Okay, that's a pretty good color. Right now this is a little too blue for my liking. I want to kind of dull it up just a bit. Let's see, and some of these clouds have shadows happening in them. It's just not a white shape. Light is still hitting it. There's still light and there's still shadow. Ah, that's the color I want. There we go. I forgot how I got that color now. And I'm also keeping in mind, you know, some white spaces that are happening here. And I really like looking at this picture, how there's a rainstorm happening where it seems like the clouds are almost touching the earth. Maybe I want to play to that just a little bit. I'm just going to pick up some of that paint. Some of that ivory black and bluish color. Let it fall down just a little bit here. Okay, maybe start playing down to this ground down here. Oh, this is a fun, quick one. I'm going to tilt my board just a little bit this way. I want the water to just run slightly towards the clouds so I can get that nice little bleeding edge. Let's see. I'm going to get some cad yellow, mixing it up a little bit with my Hooker's green. I really like how the light is hitting this ground right here. It's just like this, whoops, ray of sunshine going back the other direction. And then there's a shadow from the clouds coming in this area. Ooh, I need to go darker. Seems to be getting darker. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blue with my green. Looking for those irregular patterns of light and dark as I'm going along. This little section seems to be getting a lot of attention when I look at it as a whole. And I still haven't put in my focal point yet where I want those dark darks. But I love how beautiful this looks. I love this purple against the white. But again, it's detracting attention, so I need to do something about that. I might add just a bit of purple over here, just so it's not taking away the whole scene. Gosh, clouds are fun to paint. Pick up just a little bit there. And maybe just here. Okay. Oh, I better stop.